Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. You are joining myself and my producer Richard. We are on a little filming journey up in Scotland, and we are currently on our way back, driving back down south after a few really long, really busy days. It's taken about 8-9 hours to drive up here a couple days ago. We've had two very busy days of filming some unbelievable content for you guys. I am so excited to show you what we've been working on. We've been filming two different series, which two of our new series, our Breaking Par series, where I try and break par for the very first time. Also our other course record series, where I try and break the course record. It was episode 4 we filmed today, episode 3 we filmed yesterday at some beautiful golf courses, Murrayshall and Crail. Beautiful links golf course, Crail, old-fashioned, incredibly historic, and Murrayshall, polar opposite really. Beautiful inland parkland golf course, this incredible country estate. It was pretty special, I have to say. We had some very good weather. We were incredibly lucky. We drove up 2 days ago. I picked Richard up from the train station, drove all the way up together, filmed 2 different videos yesterday, one of each series, and one video today at Crail. Yeah, it was a special trip. It's been busy. We've been out filming 8 hours at a time on the golf course. It has been long days, but beautiful Scottish weather. Yeah, we were lucky driving back in the rain today. It's been special. Also, today, guys, it was a bit of a ridiculous scenario, a bit of a just flat out ridiculous situation we found ourselves in. We were on, I believe it's the 10th hole at Crail. It's a drivable par 4, only about 280, 290 yards. And we waited for the green to clear. We had a group in front of us kind of the whole way around that we were waiting on. We waited for the green to clear, and we had Richard film me hitting a shot on this, a beautiful hole, by the way. You've got water behind, going down the hill. Super incredible hole. I hit this drive, and both me and Richard, really well struck, good shot, just couldn't see it. Just lost it straight up into the sky, straight up into a cloud. We just could not see this ball at all. No idea where it went, absolutely not a clue. So we were walking down, driving down in our buggies, and we hit our shot from 120 yards for the video, for this series, and we get up to the green, and the guys in the group in front are still up on the tee box. The guys come over to Richard. There's a lawnmower, a guy on a big ride-on mower riding around. I cannot hear a thing. Richard's like waving at me, signaling at me, saying something, shouting something over, and it turns out I couldn't really hardly hear a thing. It turns out what happened, I hit the drive, and the guy was on the next tee box, or just off the next tee box in the group ahead. The ball, somehow, he was facing towards us, but the ball actually landed on the back of this guy's head. Luckily, no one was hurt. It didn't hit him seemingly that hard. It kind of skimmed off the back of his head. But, I mean, inches away from doing some serious damage and potentially, permanent damage to this guy. Luckily, he was really nice about it. Really nice Italian guy. But it was crazy. We were both absolutely shook. We could not believe. I've personally never seen someone get hit on the golf course before by a ball. You kind of hear about it occasionally on tour. Occasionally they capture it on camera. And occasionally you see a photo of a golf ball sized lump or bruise or something. And I feel like very, very, very rarely you will hear about someone like a fatality on a golf course, but maybe most of the time that happens when they've been hit like really hard and really close by. I mean, this guy that I hit today, he was, nearly 300 yards away. The golf ball was coming down vertically, basically, which is how it kind of hit him almost behind him, despite the fact he was facing towards us. It was just crazy. It really makes you realize kind of how dangerous golf can be, I guess. And also, and this is probably on me and a lesson maybe I need to learn, that if I hit a golf ball and I'm not really sure where it's gone, maybe just shout four. Maybe just shout four just in case, because I had no idea where this ball had gone. I didn't know if it was left, right, not a clue, completely lost it. But just shout four just in case, because in this case there was someone, maybe 20 yards, 30 yards right on the next tee box. And, it could have been a really, really bad situation. So that was absolutely crazy. If you guys have any crazy stories like that, if you've been hit by a golf ball, if you've hit someone else, if you have had any near misses, we would love if you submitted them into the podcast. Feel free to comment them below and we will read them out in the next episode. I think it's a really interesting topic of, I'm sure you guys probably do have some stories, and, maybe you just don't hear about these kinds of things. The craziest thing is when we went and reviewed the video that Richard had taken of me hitting this ball afterwards, you can actually see it happen on the video, which is absolutely nuts that you actually caught it on camera on the video. So we'd love to hear your stories, guys. Send them in, comment your thoughts down below. It would be really, really great if you did. The other topic me and Richard were talking about recently is what makes a round of golf special to you guys? The example we were using is Richard was telling me about how he played St. Andrews, and he was saying that he basically turned up, didn't have a tee time, and apparently you can basically go and wait in the kind of queue, and if someone cancels, doesn't show up, is injured, you can take their spot. And I was saying to Richard, that's awesome, but like, what if you're a two ball? What if you've got a friend with you, or maybe even three? You're probably not going to get a spot. It's probably not worth doing because, realistically only one person has probably dropped out. And, you're probably not going to get like the luck of two people dropping out and you can actually play golf with your friend. In Richard's case, he said he was playing with his dad, or his dad caddied for him. So it was still, you had that kind of special moment and that family friend connection. I was kind of saying, that's amazing. I would definitely love to do it in that scenario. But for me, if I was going to go and play St. Andrews or any really special golf course, I would want to play it with a person who was close to me, who was special to me, who I could share that memory with. And that got us into a little bit of a debate over what makes golf so enjoyable. What makes an enjoyable, fun round of golf? Because I would rather play golf at my home golf club, which I play at every week. I would rather play there with, maybe my parents or some of my friends and, have a really fun, enjoyable round than I would go play St. Andrews, which is, one of the best golf courses in the world, one of the oldest golf courses in the world. But I would be potentially paired with, three strangers who, it's a little bit luck of a draw at that point. I have to say, I have played golf in the past, in California actually, where, they do typically, if you're in a two ball, they will typically pair you up with another two people. And I think there's positives and negatives to that. Yes, it's great to meet new people. Golf is a very, very sociable game. That's amazing. So there is that aspect of it, of you could actually meet some lifelong friends through golf, and that's incredible. On the other side to it, and I've had this happen before, where you get paired up with some random people and maybe you just don't have much in common. Maybe they're a little bit quiet for whatever reason. It's kind of not quite as enjoyable, not quite as it's just you'd rather be with people even if it's just one other person, than getting paired up with these people. It's a little bit awkward at times. You feel a bit self-conscious playing golf on the golf course. You're a bit worried about hitting bad shots. You kind of put a bit more pressure on yourself. It's not as enjoyable for those reasons. So we'd love to hear what you think. I'm definitely on the side of it. Golf for me is all about who you play with. Even if the weather isn't great, I'd rather play with people, my closest friends that I can share those memories with, rather than playing the best golf course, but with complete strangers. The other side to it, of course, is weather. Weather does play a big part. I think as I've gotten older, I've become a little bit more of a fair weather golfer as well. And I think Richard was saying this as well, kind of agreed. It's not enjoyable. We were actually, after we finished filming today at Crail, we were coming back into the clubhouse, and luckily we just about missed the rain. It started absolutely tipping it down. And there were all these Americans who had clearly come over, probably paid a lot of money, traveled a long way, and it was cold, windy, raining, like sleeting it down. It just didn't look like a very enjoyable place to be. So how much does weather impact your enjoyment when you are out on the golf course? Would you rather play a worse course in, perfect conditions? Or would you rather play an amazing, one of the best in the world golf courses, but you're in the rain? Or would you rather play, who would you rather play those with? And how would you prioritize those things? Do let us know in the comments down below. We would love, love, love to hear your thoughts, guys. Another really interesting topic myself and Richard were discussing over the last few days is LIV golfers and their performances in major championships. And we had kind of a long chat about this last night at dinner, and it was really, really interesting. And I think, there have been a lot of things said that I don't personally, me as someone who's worked on LIV and seen the guys up close playing golf, preparing for events, I don't feel is 100% fair. And what we were specifically talking about is the fact that LIV golf is only 3 rounds. I think there's been a lot of criticism over, LIV golf is only 3 rounds, and that's why these guys aren't playing very well. That's why they're not performing, because they're not used to playing that extra round. And I said to Richard, I was like, I do not get that argument. First of all, that argument is being made, by a lot of Sky Sports commentators, broadcasters, etc. And that's their job at the end of the day, to speculate on these things. And I could really understand that rationale if someone had grown up playing on LIV and all they had ever done is compete in 3 rounds of competitive golf, and they'd never had to go, through that 4 rounds of golf. But what I kind of said to Richard was, these guys have grown up playing 4 rounds of golf. They've played 4 rounds of golf, competitive golf, for decades, playing in major championships and on every golf tour around the world, the PGA Tour, Korn Ferry Tour, European Tour, or DP World Tour, and, Challenge Tour, and all these golf tours where they have competed for 4 rounds of golf at a time. So it's not like they've never done it. That's how they've gotten to where they are. The fact that it's 3 rounds of golf, to me personally, means very, very, very little. Also, I've been at live events. I've worked up close with some of these golfers, and the live golfers, they turn up at these events, the same time a PGA Tour player would. They turn up on a Monday. Some of them practice on a Monday. Some of them start practicing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it's not like they're like just turning up on the Friday, playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's it. And like they're fatiguing too quickly. They are working their ass off through the entire week to prepare for this golf tournament. They have to play in a pro-am one day as well. So to me, that doesn't really make sense, because they're playing golf every single day, preparing and focusing in all of those practice rounds. If you've never been to a major championship or a golf tournament in a practice round, I would highly encourage you to do it for a few different reasons. The golfers you have a bit better access to them. They will give you a bit more of their time, but you will see how still in practice rounds, these guys are super, super focused, preparing, every single possible way they can prepare for these events, going through yardage books with their caddies, hitting chips and pitches and talking through pin locations and putting to multiple locations. I mean, these guys will play a hole of golf, and then once they get up to the green, they'll spend an additional 10, 15, 20 minutes even, where their caddies are putting down markers to where the likely pin locations are, and they will actually hit chip shots and pitch shots and putts to those pin locations, preparing for every single day of that event. The other side to this argument, which I mentioned to Richard, which is why I don't agree with it, is yes, these guys play a lot of their golf on the LIV Tour where it's just 3 rounds, but that's not the only golf they're playing per year. They are also, every single player on the LIV Golf Tour is also playing Asian Tour events. They're also playing DP Tour events. They're playing major championships. Most of these guys will play over 20 events a year, something like 22, maybe even 24 events a year, which is a lot of golf, and LIV has 14 events. Therefore, maybe 60% of the golf they play is on LIV, but that means 40% is still in tournaments where it is 4 rounds of golf. Therefore, they're still playing 4 rounds of golf almost half the time. The other side to this, which I mentioned to Richard, is LIV doesn't have a cut. So I could kind of understand maybe the argument if you mentioned like, oh, well, the LIV players aren't used to having a cut, because they don't. That's fair. But remember that PGA Tour players have a cut where it cuts half the field every single week. Now that means that on average, the average PGA Tour player is actually only playing 2 rounds of golf, not 4. So if you miss 2 or 3 or 4 cuts in a row, you could have not played a competitive event with more than 2 days of golf in several months. I think the reason this argument is being made, basically, is because of like Bryson DeChambeau's poor performance on, the last day of the Masters, and you had kind of Jon Rahm recently falling away on the last day of the PGA. But what I also said was, okay, that's fine, but like that's not why they fell away, because no one's also looking at the PGA Tour players and their performance on the last day, because you also had Rory McIlroy in the Masters who did not play very well that last day. Yes, he hit some unbelievable golf shots, but he also hit some dreadful ones and overall didn't score that low on the last day. Also, Scottie Scheffler, he did not play very well on the last day of the PGA Championship.
So loads of the PGA Tour players didn't play well on that Sunday, and no one mentioned that.
And I think that's so unfair. What I am seeing is there's a huge amount of bias in the commentary of like, the live players are getting scrutinized so much, and I believe unfairly to a degree. Like, they're looking at the live players and judging them on, oh, they play on live, it's 3 rounds of golf, and they're not even looking at the PGA Tour players and making that direct comparison. It's pretty unfair, and I think I touched on this in the last podcast, but I believe some of the comments made about Jon Rahm have also been very unfair, when guys are saying, oh, well, since he's gone to live, his performance has really dropped off, etc., etc. But Jon Rahm has finished top 10 in every single live event. And yes, people are going to say that, well, the live field doesn't have quite as many players in it. You know, maybe the depth isn't quite there because it doesn't have as many players in it as a PGA Tour event. But at the same time, live has, easily has 10 players on it who are all in the top 30 in the world. And that is, not easy to come in those top 10 players every single time you're competing. He's still played a lot of good golf. It's just difficult when you then turn up to a major championship, all the eyes are on you, all the scrutiny is on you, and then you have one bad performance and everyone goes, oh, it's because he went to live. Like, how many other players have fallen off that didn't go to live? Jordan Spieth, unbelievable major championship player. His performance has massively dropped off in major championships. Didn't go to live. Justin Thomas,
He's come back a bit.
yeah. Loads of them. Xander Schauffele at the moment, not really playing like that well for him. Colin Morikawa, two-time major champion, hasn't gone to live. Performance has dropped off. Like Tommy Fleetwood, another one, yet to win a PGA Tour event. So I just think it's slightly unfair. I think you need to look at all of these things equally. You need to it frustrates me when some of the commentators are very, very clearly biased towards, whether it's some of the European commentators very clearly biased towards European players, or most of the commentators are very biased towards PGA Tour players or Americans. But the other thing is that these commentators, have they ever been to a live golf event? I don't think any of them will have ever been to a live event. And have they seen how these guys prepare for them? Have they been up close with the players? I would say no. We would love to hear your thoughts, guys. That's a little quick recap of what we've been up to the last few days. A few little talking points, some crazy stories of me literally nearly killing someone, which is, I'm still like pretty shook over, honestly. If you've ever hit someone with a golf ball, like, being hit by a golf ball, I'm sure is horrendous, but hitting someone with a golf ball, that's all. Like, I almost imagine that's how someone would get the yips. If every time you're about to take the club away, you think you could potentially kill someone. Flashbacks is trauma. That is traumatic. Thank you guys for listening to this. As ever, thanks to my producer Richard for working hard behind the scenes, editing and producing all of this content. Make sure you check out some of the series we have coming to YouTube and on my Instagram account. We will be posting some short form clips there as well. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. It really does help us if you like and subscribe to this. We are working our ass off, literally driving all day up to Scotland and back. I mean, we've been down to Salton Sands and now up to Scotland. We've literally scaled the country to create golf content for you guys. So thank you. We really appreciate it. It would help us massively if you liked, subscribed, left a comment. Really appreciate it, guys, and we will see you in the next one.